Hi, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Too Opinionated. We're pretty excited today. I'm joined by actor, writer, producer, director, Bryan James. So welcome, Bryan.
Hey, how are you? Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I'm so excited to talk to you. That's a lot of hats.
I know, saying it was a mouthful just listening to you say that. I was like, wow, it's
I
overwhelming.
got I got worried. I was like, I'm going to leave something out.
Yeah, it's
I'll
easy
just
to
start
do.
making stuff up and just throwing it
Yeah,
in
just
there.
say anything. Yeah. Craft service, also done by me now.
Do you sing?
I do sing.
Yeah.
I don't want to do it for you right now, but I
No,
love
no.
to
I
sing.
was saying I could have added that in
I know,
there.
right? Singing, tap dancing. No, I'm just kidding. I also perform with zoo animals and
Oh, there you go. See, I could have made that such a much grander entrance.
yeah, yeah, totally. But hey, welcome everybody. No.
Well, thank you so much for doing this, Bryan. I'm excited to talk with you. I like to start here. Talk a little bit about, what made you want to get into entertainment? How'd you go about that?
That's a great question. I feel like just speaking honestly, I shied away from entertainment, but I've always been a fan of it. I just felt like it was unrealistic to be pursuing something where so few people do it. But then I'm also of the philosophy that if you feel like that's what you're supposed to be doing, get out of your head and go for it. And so
Yeah.
it was kind of a thing when even when I was younger, I was telling my family when I was in high school, like, you need to put me on independent study and I need to move to Hollywood because you don't understand. I'm actually behind schedule. I'm already behind. I know that was weird, but that's something I felt. And so it's not surprising that I've made my own things, because I'm very forward motion with acting. I feel like that's why I'm here. I feel like I was actually having a conversation yesterday with someone, but art is so powerful and
Yeah.
it can shape so much. It can bring joy, it can enhance, it can educate. It's the most amazing thing. And so I feel like I've been blessed from a young age of knowing that that was what I was meant to be doing.
Yeah, that's awesome. So did you do theater in school?
Oh yeah, I definitely did a lot of
Yes.
theater. I was in a lot of musical theater, actually. I was Seymour in Little Shop of Horrors, and
Nice.
yeah, yeah, that was my favorite one, I think. I was in a lot of different ones, so they're all flooding away from me. Oklahoma, we did Oklahoma. Yeah, we did Bye Bye Birdie. We did a lot of different stuff, and there was
Oh,
these improv things we did too that were fun.
yeah, that's pretty good. Oklahoma was my oldest daughter's favorite musical growing
Oh
up. So,
yeah, it's a
yeah, so
fun
we
one.
watch that all the time. It's such a good one.
Yeah.
That's great. So you sang? Did you play like with the band or any type of instrument?
Oh, I played the trumpet when I was in middle school and
Yeah.
early in high school, but I gave that up because I didn't think I was too good at it. Maybe maybe I should try again. But at the time, I just felt overwhelmed with the too many things I was doing because I did sports too, and so it was always whether it's
Oh,
baseball or basketball, there was always something going on.
yeah. What was your position in baseball?
They usually put me in like left field
Yeah.
and I would
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
think about e-news. So I knew I was wanting to be an actor. It's like, I wonder what's going on in the box office. Oh, there's a ball. But
Yeah.
no, yeah, I mean, I have fond memories of hitting a home run, and that was literally when I retired because I got the MVP thing. It was the last game of the season, and it went over the fence, and I was just like, what else do I need to do now? My dad was the coach too, so it was a whole full circle thing. I was like, look, I can do something.
I've proven it. So now I'm leaving.
Now I'm out, yeah, because this isn't my strength. Yeah.
That's so funny because when I stopped playing baseball when I was 17, so when I was finishing up high school, my last at bat, home run. I was like,
Amazing.
okay,
Oh my God. We
I'm
need a
done.
club. We need to start a
Yeah, I was
club
like,
here.
that's it.
Isn't
It
that
can't get
cool?
any better.
Isn't it thrilling? Yeah, really. And imagine if you don't even like it that much. So you're
Yeah,
just kind of like, okay, I did that. You know
yeah,
what I mean?
yeah.
Like,
I'm walking away. I was like, I know you want me to come back, but I'm done. I'm done.
yeah, yeah. I swear I'm not just saying this, but I remember scoring a 3-pointer in the last game with basketball, one of my seasons too. But I came back the next season, but I was like, imagine if that was always an ending. Like you just do something really good, and then you're like, all right, I'm done.
I'm done. I think there's some there's something about leaving them wanting a little more, making them wonder. Well, maybe.
I know, right?
We'll never know.
That's powerful. I know.
Yeah. We'll never
when you
know.
look at people's careers too, people that have longevity have space and breadth with their work, with what you're saying.
That's right.
Too.
That's exactly right. So when did you realize that you had a little bit of writing talent? When did you start writing?
Yeah, what's interesting is I'm a big believer that like writing and acting and like therapy are all like the same part of whatever part of yourself, and so it's all like it's about channeling it in a different way, because if you're breaking down a character as an actor, it's like I'm breaking down a character, I'm breaking down the in-betweens, I'm reading the nonverbals. Like you're kind of, as an actor, you're kind of like discovering ones that are worth their merit, and that's when they inject different flavors in the performance. And so when you're writing something, or even I'm always going back to even looking at it as an actor, you just kind of always want to come from a truthful place. So it's like no bullshit, but you have to start with what you really believe, what That's you right. really feel, what are your intentions. Storyboarding with writing is important, character arcs. What I think is cool is like when you can map out where you're going, but then you can have free flow of how it even happens or gets there, because then it's like the same with acting. You can find the character and then you can be writing them in dialogue. Like when I'm acting, I'm journaling like beforehand. And so a lot of this, it's like it all ties together in the same vehicle for me, if that makes sense. And what's weird, but in a good way, and I've said this with the other actors I work with, when I'm looking at the script, even though I wrote it, like I'm looking at it with a completely different perspective. Maybe I am schizo and I'm just like making it a beautiful thing, but literally I just don't even remember writing it, and I'm looking at it like with new eyes and like trying to find my way into it,
Oh, I love that. That's different. I think that's a little different approach.
It's like energy work more than anything. And so that's not easy to do, because you have to be in the right headspace. You have to be like in free flow, and you have to literally like not put all these, like, I don't want to say blockages, but it feels like we all hinder ourselves. We get too much in our heads, I think. And so what I'm saying is like in a completely relaxed space is where to even begin if anyone wants to try to do it too, because I feel like we're all more capable than we think. So if I'm talking about something that resonates with you or anyone else that's listening to this, it's not that they can't do it too. It's that maybe it's resonating with you because you should dip your toe in the water. There's more you can explore,
Yeah, no, that's really interesting. Do you, like when you act, are you more of a improv type of actor, or are you following a script most of the time?
That's a great question. I'm definitely script oriented. And so it's like, I'm not a wordsmith. Like, it's not like, oh, you said then instead of then, but but like for the most part, I do find that like what is written on the page, if it's challenging, maybe there's a reason for that. And if you dig deeper into that, instead of being like, oh, I want to change the words, then you might discover more. And then you're actually doing, more of the hard work to get like to the truth of whatever this character is. Because everyone's different. People communicate in different ways, The character I'm playing right now, it's like when I play him and like my voice even lowers, like, because he's a cop, It's just like even where you even approach yourself, like where you're coming from,
Yeah, I love that. That's really interesting because we talked to a lot of actors, and you've got some that love to improv. They're much better when they can just kind of free will it. But some actors, terrible improv, but if you give them the right words, they're the best.
Yeah.
I think that's interesting.
I'm probably more of the second one, only because I just would like to have a structure of what we're doing. But there's something to be said about improving. If we're doing that from go, I mean, that's a whole different thing to approach. But I guess in general, I definitely, you think of the nightmare situation of being in a studio project and they have a certain release date and the script isn't even written. And to me, that just feels like you're putting a lot of pressure, even more than necessary, on the actor. Like there should be more of a structure. In theory, you should have a structure always, is all I'm saying.
Yeah, that's for sure. So when you got started, what was your first acting role?
Oh yeah, that's a fun one. The first thing I did was called Mystery ER, and it was on Discovery Health Channel, and it was like a reenactment show. And this is how I got SAG too. And I was so excited when I got this, and it was making me laugh so hard because we had to really overdo it for this reenactments. Like it was about this kid who had a heart attack. He ended up being fine, so we can laugh, right? But it's like he had a heart attack at 16 while playing basketball, and I'm like his buddy, and we're really going through it with all these reenactments of this situation. But that was my first professional acting gig. Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty funny. Had you ever done anything like that before? Like sometimes they'll do them, like they'll come through the high schools and kind of do those it's almost like a play.
Yeah, I did not. So this was even more of a like unique experience. But no, it was fun. It was definitely fun.
Did he survive?
Yeah, he rebuilt. He was better than ever. You know what I'm saying? It was a minor heart attack. He was fine. He was stronger. He was stronger for
it. So you that's actually a pretty good way to start, because to me it seems like a little less pressure. You get your SAG card. It's it's a good way to introduce yourself to acting, I think.
No, 100%.
Did you make a decision that, hey, you know what, I'm gonna just write my own stuff. I'm gonna write my own stuff, and then I'll act in it. Did you do that instead of taking other jobs, or are you doing it alongside of?
So that's a really good question. Literally, no one's ever asked me that. I'm glad to share this. It's like I started it because you're just wanting to create work. There's been a lot of opportunities that I had to pass on auditions because I was doing so much at the point.
That's what I figured.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's literally been a part of me wanting to step away and also be pushing being an actor and a conduit for other people's projects. That's why I like about this new project. It's a limited series, and we already have shot it, and we're already done. We're already in post on it, so I can be open and available for something else. Like I just went out for a pilot for Showtime like 2 days ago, and so exactly what you're saying. In another time of my life, a few years ago, I wasn't even able to do that, and it was frustrating. Yeah. But to answer the question, to start with, it was getting a lot of close calls, they call it being pinned, or you're one of the 5 chosen for this one line role on whatever show, but then they decide to go diversify, which is great, and I'm totally agreeing with it. But it actually, in some ways, is also frustrating because it's I did nothing that I could have done differently, and yet I'm still, because I'm a very aggressive person and very driven, so I'm just hard on myself. So it's if I'm not making movement in a year, it's what the heck? And so you know what I mean? And so I was okay, well, how about I make my own thing? And then once I did that, it's always about, well, how do I make that better? Well, how do I make that bigger? And then you kind of you can get out of hand in the way, because then your whole life is fixated on making the show.
Yeah, for sure. And I kind of suspected that because when you're auditioning for roles, a lot of times it just comes down to the personal preference, of the person that's running the show. So it's kind of out of your control. You can control what you do when you audition, but then it's, it doesn't really matter if it was good or not.
Can I tell you something really quickly? Yeah. And so do I want to say the show is a big show, been on for 17 years, still on. I feel like it's obvious if you think about it. It's a medical show. And so they literally were saying to me, the director was all or the casting director was like, Bryan, I want you to play afraid because, you're about to have the surgery. You need to be afraid. And I was like, okay. I came back for the director the next day and I played it like they asked me to. And then he goes, I just wish you wouldn't have been afraid. And then I was like, I can do it again. Yeah, and I was like, I can do it again. And no. And casting director puts their head down. I'm not trashing anyone. I'm just saying, so it's imagine you have those kinds of experiences even at some point, and you're just kind of it's all like you're throwing dice and putting it on the board in some ways. That's why you have to just keep going, especially if you know that you're worth your salt, and you know what I mean. Inevitably, things that are meant for you will come to you. So I do think these experiences are enriching and only educational, and I'm glad to have them. It's not like because I'm a big believer that what's meant to be happens anyway, but it is funny, you know what I mean, to see. It must hard. That's why it's so hard. I can't underestimate how hard it is for people that pursue this industry, just it's like there's just so much that goes into
I think that's your next work that I'll pitch you my idea. So this is okay. You're a struggling actor that's actually really talented, but you keep running into just ridiculous situations when you audition. So and you're given like different instructions, just nonsense stuff. I'd watch that shoot.
No, totally. You know what I'm thinking of too is, remember in La La Land when she's auditioning and the casting director takes the phone call and leaves the room or whatever? It's so mortifying, right? It was so mortifying. It's like that same kind of thing. Those kinds of experiences over and over and over and over and over again.
Yeah.
Right?
In some ways, I think the remote auditions that we kind of started, or people started doing last year, that may be easier because at least you're not in the room.
No, totally. Yeah, I actually think I've never thought much about this, but I think I prefer that in some ways, because you can at least create the structure. Like I said, you're still creating a structure and an environment where you're in control at least of that tape and sending it off. When you're reading with someone live, they're in control. You don't really know. Right. They might be eating their sandwich. That happened one time with me. I mean, that's why I think that was so relatable in La La Land, because you know what I mean? It is there, and it's nothing against them. There's just a lot going on their side of the world too. So it's just interesting,
Yeah. It's such a acting or entertainment in general. It's just such a difficult profession, and a little bit hilarious at times.
It actually is kind of insane. Yeah.
So you got all these shows that you're working, but I wanted to start with Youthful Days, because that's the one I've seen with that. Sick. So right, yeah. So how did you explain what the show's about? How did you come up with it? Because I watched it and it's crazy. Like it goes in like 100 different directions.
Yeah, it does. My favorite twist was when suddenly my character revealed that they had a multiple personality. And then I did this thing with my eyes, like fucking in Batman Returns or whatever, and then I'm like a new person. I know what you're saying though, because you're watching the show, and it's like I don't think anyone expected that.
My wife and I watched it together, and we're just cracking up because it's just, you never know what's going to happen.
Yeah, we went a lot of places. We did a lot of stuff. Everyone can watch Youthful Days at youthfuldays.net. Again, youthfuldaze.net. All the episodes are available. We've done 6 seasons. Or did we do 5? Why am I spacing on how many seasons I've done? We did 6, and literally, I've written a 6-season script, Bryan. And so.
Well, that was my next question. Are we going to get a new season?
So it's written, and it's just about getting all those people together. And, COVID was actually something that stopped Youthful Days 6 and made me make Bloodbath, because there was less people in the cast, because it was just like it's just too overwhelming, but I mean, I have a desire to want to make that. We'll see what happens, because, I've got these other projects that are on deck as well. But
yeah, you're busy.
Yeah, we'll have to stay
You're busy.
Fans can watch Youthful Days, like I said, though, at youthfuldays.net.
Yeah, for sure. And they definitely should. It's such a good show. I'd love to see somebody pick that up and just throw it on a streamer or something somewhere and really take off. And they should. That would be fun. It's so much better than a lot of the stuff that's out there. So it's
Thank you. That means a lot to me.
Yeah, it's really well done.
Into that. There was a lot of my energy and years of my life that have gone into that. So that means a lot to me. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. How did the casting work for that show? Because you had some pretty big names. It's like you got all of the daytime soap people to do the show.
I know. I think they all did it.
How did you do that?
Literally. I don't know. You know what I have to say about this? Youthful Days started in someone's garage in Santa Clarita, California, and we put duct tape on the video camera. All right, and literally, like that was what we did, and we were all good with it. And then it literally I got like 40,000 viewers an episode on YouTube, and it's like I had cast members that are like, "What?" Like we were not expecting this, and so then the thing about soap opera stuff is that like I feel like those people are very attuned to working quickly and efficiently. And what I like about that is that's how I like to work. So it was kind of a thing of like a girl that I knew at church happened to be on a soap opera, and then she's on it. And then it felt like a party because it's like all these people who are itching to work all the time and want to do a lot of work and want to work and aren't working or whatever, because soap operas are cyclical. It feels like sometimes they come and go and the cast change and stuff. So so there's always a lot of people that aren't there, but they were, you know what I mean? And so it's like literally they're so it felt like I'm having a party, and everyone, like, especially when you're the new kid, it's like they all want to like come check you out and see like what's up, and then along the way, like I found my groove, and there was a couple people like that we worked together with on that I've maintained really good friendships with, and I feel like it was a really awesome experience. But also just in terms of energy, my gosh, that was a lot of people. There was like a lot of, like you said, there was a lot of people from the soap opera world, like on a lot, like it was awesome.
Yeah, well, yeah, and the show's so good. Do you want to give a quick, synopsis of what it's about?
Great. Youthful Days is about Drew Castle's me, who has a multiple personality named Joshua, and they live in Calabasas, California. And my sister, Chriselle Staus, is like a government agent, and she's estranged from me. And I don't even know that she's my sister at first. And there's a lot more that happens there, but that should be like the foundation, is that it's like about this family. And then we have an aunt, that's more of the surrogate, protecting him. And he's also, the character of Drew is very different than the character of Josh. So if you do watch this show, I think it will be fun because you'll see like me doing a lot of different things. Like I'm basically playing every different kind of person. Like Drew's a lot more feminine, you know what I mean? And in some ways I'm playing a woman at some points in the show. And then at other points I'm playing like this aggressive, kind of almost psychotic villain. And that was what's interesting about the piece too, is very rarely do you see something where the lead, who's like whatever they happen to be, like suddenly turned on its head and now they're the antagonist. And that's what I responded to about it too, that because every season I want to make it something different and I want to make it something more unique. So we also have a serial killer storyline that I thought was really fun, and that's in like the 5th season if people end up getting to that point,
Yeah, so that was our favorite season, was the 5th season.
Amazing. That was my favorite to film, because at that point I felt like we really were getting into a groove, and I got along with all those actors. There's something to be said about that, when everybody gets along and everybody's got the same agenda and they're supporting the director. Like that was the 5th season, and so that was great because that was the last season we've done so far. So I hope we do more, but if we haven't, I have nothing but like fond memories of all those people and everything.
Is Bryan the writer and Bryan the director hard on Bryan the actor?
yeah Bryan the writer and director is way hard on Bryan the actor. In fact, on Bloodbath, which I'm talking about next, I was like, I need a monitor, because I'm at this level now where I don't even want to hear anyone. I just that sounds, I don't know how that sounds, I'm sorry, but it's like I just know what I need, and I know, like, I just get it, and so just show it to me if it's me, because I can evaluate that and then we'll go again. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I just need people not stand in my ways. Like that's kind of how I like to work.
Just from talking to you, I mean, your work seems like it has a real urgency to it.
Yeah.
You're very focused, you're very driven, and you're just kind of go, which makes sense why you're working with so many daytime soap actors, because they really do kind of do that on a daily basis, so it's probably no big deal.
Yeah, so it's like old hat for them. Like, so I gave this to one guy who'd never done that, and I thought he was gonna have a stroke. Like after 14, he's like, "What are you doing to me?" And I'm like, "Oh God, you weren't on a soap opera? I thought you were on a soap opera too." Everyone on this show is on a soap opera. And it's like, Somehow someone got on that wasn't. It was a mistake. No. But you know what's funny is I also like to do one take. So I like to have 3 cameras, and I really want to do 1 or 2 takes, and I want to cover a lot of material quickly because we're filming sometimes on my dime. And it's like we don't have a lot. You know, I want to get the right coverage, but we need to move efficiently and quickly. And so literally, that's the other thing too, is someone else was saying that I was like Clint Eastwood, which that would be amazing to ever be compared to him. But it's like, you know what you want and you know what you're doing. And I mean, if that can be the parallel, then I mean, I'm happy to own that, because that's definitely who I am. And the more work you can do in pre-production, the easier it's going to be when I'm wearing all these hats. Because like, I'm just a person. So I'm not on set thinking I'm the director, writer, editor, star of this. I'm just literally at that point hoping to God that I did enough pre-production work in the last month that we are like flying high, and people have with their delegated jobs aren't coming to me going, Brian, I just have a quick question, Brian. And it's like, oh my God, like that's what I hate. Like I try to literally make it where everybody knows what's happening. So it's like, if it's an insane amount of work, it's an insane amount of work before the day. On the day, it should be relaxed, and I should be able to like lean into acting. We have like second unit directors. Like like I said, like I have a monitor. There's like a lot of stuff. Like we have I work diligently with the DP, so like the shots are already known. So it is in that way, like just making sure people did their homework. And sometimes they don't, and then that's when maybe I'm the only one that notices, hopefully, but you lose a little bit of the quality of the shots even. Because I can't make somebody do like all the work beforehand, but when you're on set, you definitely can tell if people studied the shot list or whatever.
You can definitely, and it definitely slows things down if you have somebody that didn't do their pre-work.
No, totally.
Yeah, for sure. So okay, so you mentioned Bloodbath a couple of times. Let's talk about it because this one sounds awesome. So what's Bloodbath?
I can't wait for you to watch Bloodbath. I'm so excited. I literally I feel like it's completely different than Youthful Days too. So I feel like you'll just be like, whoa. But Bloodbath is about 2 cops that have different political views, and they are also best friends. They're estranged now. You'll find out more why. But the point is now they've kind of been thrust into working together and being partnered together, and it's happening right around like this time last year, like October 2020. And it takes place right around then, and we cover like everything that's been going on in this country. And it's and they, like I said, they have completely different views, and it's a bloodbath. No spoilers of what ended up.
How did you because I'm assuming that you lean one way or the other view wise, how did you portray both views in a positive way, in a good way, so that you're kind of being fair to both sides?
That was important, and I love that you asked me this, because this is an interesting process for sure. But I didn't know that Bloodbath was going to be what was happening. All that I knew was that I'm going over to my buddy's house for 14 years, one of my best friends, and he has a completely different political view than I do, like to the degree that's like, I'm like, okay, let me soak this in and let me write all this down. And I'm just like a conduit for that. And I'm like writing. And I'm literally getting the perspective of an opinion that I do not share. And then I'm releasing it. And then and then it's easy for me to write the other end. But like to gather like all of it objectively was nothing but informative to the piece. So hopefully like that work is what really gives it what it needs to have to begin with, which is a balance. It's not about what Brian thinks. It's about me wanting to honestly look at both sides of a situation with honesty and with truth.
I love that. Did you film, was some of the filming done where you were wearing masks?
There are scenes in the show where some of the characters are wearing masks, and it is a storyline in the show. So no spoilers, but that's definitely in this. You're gonna love it. I know.
I'm so excited to see it.
I can't wait. It's November 12th.
Yeah, it's coming soon. So just as growing up, most of my life, my favorite time of year is the fall season, because you get all the new shows, so you can get excited about it. And you know, it used to be it was just the networks. Now there's like a bazillion. But yours, Bloodbath, that's coming out, I think I'm more excited about that one than any of them because it's very true to life. I think I'm so excited to see it.
I am so excited to share this with you. That means a lot to me. Can I tease some things for you?
Please.
We have some scenes in this movie, this show. I mean, it feels like it's a movie, but it's a show. And it's literally like, it made me nauseous. And I know I wrote it, but I was like, and also like I learned how to shoot people with squibs and like shoot them in the head and shoot them in the chest.
Oh man,
we're going there. Like it's very exciting.
So it's an actual bloodbath.
That literally not everyone makes it out alive. That's what someone said, like, "Oh, will you do a second season?" And I was like, "What? You need to watch this whole show before you can even like think to ask me that." Like,
yeah, we got to make sure there's enough people left to do a second season.
Yeah, exactly. But that's what I like too. Don't you like the idea of you're watching something and I've already come up with the beginning, middle, and the end, and you like, you know, I think there's something to be said about that too, especially with everything that's available to us right now. There's so many things. When I get off this interview, it's like there's 900 shows I need to be watching to catch up on. You know what I mean? Like it's like there's never ending amount of things. You know. So what I like about Bloodbath is you can get in and out. You can watch it in like. You can watch all 3 episodes in like about an hour, maybe a little less. And so, you know, I feel like the piece will leave people with something. So I'm really excited about that because just time commitment wise, you know, I know a lot of people will be able to watch this and will be available. You can watch it at Thanksgiving.
Yeah, that may be. I doubt I make it that long. I'll probably watch it before then.
You'll watch it.
It'll probably be November 12th. I will be watching.
Bro, I appreciate you. That means a lot to me. That really means a lot to me.
So where can we find it on November 12th?
That's a great question. It's going to be bloodbathtvshow.net. That website is still being built. So, you know, if we want to keep pushing that, though, bloodbathtvshow.net, it will be live soon with the trailer and everything. Awesome. I'm just, you know, it's one step behind that at this point, but it's coming.
Is Bloodbath the one that you had Brando in with you?
Yeah, Brando was going to be in this, and then at the last second we had a scheduling conflict, unfortunately. But I'm hoping to have him in something else. Yeah, I'm hoping to have him be in something else because he's a great guy, and I've known him for a long time. And so yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah, that's too bad because he's such a talented actor.
Oh my God, yeah.
You know, I think the first time I saw him, he was on like I was watching with my daughter. It was Zoe 101.
Oh yeah,
I just kind of seen him. That. You know, he's on Nip Tuck, and he's done a lot of different things.
I love Nip Tuck. Yeah, I just rewatched Nip Tuck like a month ago, all of it, and so I can remember him very clearly on that. He was really good. I love Brando. I've told him this before too. It's like he like is so nuanced and but real. You know what I mean? Yeah. That's really rare to find, you know?
That's right. Well, you're writing so many things. You'll find something for him.
Thank you, brother.
You get him in there.
I know. We're going to work together.
So you've got a couple other projects coming out. Tell me a little about those. So there's Reckless, and then I want to get the other one, The Wonderful Wendels.
Yeah.
Both of those sound really good to me, but talk a little bit about both of those.
These are so different. When you think of all these projects, it's like Reckless is like a remake of Fatal Attraction, the movie with Michael Douglas.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it's such a good twist.
Yeah, and it's with a new contemporary spin. Because that character's name that Glenn Close played was Alex. And so now I'm going to be playing Alex. And it's in 2022. And it's like what's going on in this world. I don't want to spoil anything, but there's a lot of stuff. There might be an actor from Bloodbath that's in it with me. We'll see. But if not, I'm sure I'll get somebody else that's awesome too. And that's definitely what I feel like we're going to make next. I feel like that's like percolating, but you'll have to stay tuned. The other one is The Wonderful Wendels. That's like a heavy, like dark drama. It's about a family that's dysfunctional, and there's 3 siblings. There's 2 girls and a guy, and I play the guy. His name's Jonathan, and our mother has died, and so that's what brings us all together again. Is that now it's like these people who are estranged, who would not want to be with each other, are in the same room, and what's going to happen with that, and it gets kind of crazy.
Yeah, you could do a lot with that.
Yeah. There's a lot of twists in that. I'm really excited about all these projects. Obviously,
I know you've got so many going on. I'll tell you a
Yeah.
quick. I'll give you my Fatal Attraction story. So,
Okay, please do.
Fatal Attraction came out the summer that I had my senior beach trip. You know, I graduated high school, so it was a group of guys. There was probably 15 or 20 of us. Drove down to Myrtle Beach, and while we were down there, we went and saw Fatal Attraction. Well, the majority of this group of guys was completely smashed. They'd been drinking pretty much for a week nonstop. So they go, we're in this movie. It's just a bunch of drunk guys, and that scene with the rabbit happens, and at least half a dozen of this group got sick from, and it was just, you talk about a bloodbath. It was a disaster. That poor usher that had to clean up that movie theater after the movie. That's what I remember about Fatal Attraction.
That's so funny. The best way to watch Fatal Attraction, right? Smashed out of your mind.
Yeah, it was an experience. It was an experience.
For sure. No, Fatal Attraction is a great movie, and everyone should watch it. And if they haven't, they're missing out on like a seminal classic here at this point, right? There's people that I've told about this project, and they're like, "Oh, I've never seen that," and I'm like, "What?
Yeah, how does that happen?
How have never seen that?" It's amazing. Yeah.
So you've worked with all these terrific people. Is there one person or a couple of people that you worked with that you were a big fan of? Did you do any fanboying with any of these casts?
That's a great question. You have great questions. When I was a little boy, I watched Big Brother, and so when Will Kirby guest starred on it, Youthful Days, I was like, "Be my best friend forever." Yeah, it's like we're friends, right? Like, he's a great guy too. He's very nice and very charming, and everything you would want Dr. Will from Big Brother to be, honestly. But like in a real way, like in a normal way. He's awesome. I think that having Scott Disick on from Keeping Up with the Kardashians,
that's
really
pretty big.
Cool. That was really cool. I wanted to ask him for his number, and then I just got too shy. I was like, I can't, like it's.
No, you got to plunge. You got to dive in.
I should have gone for it. Yeah, because he was so nice. He probably would have been down. I feel like, and he loved the experience. Like I heard from his team later, that he had nothing but fun things to say, and that's always
great.
So like I feel like that, and also Keegan Allen from Pretty Little Liars. Like I had not watched Pretty Little Liars, and then I binged it, and I get why people liked it, and then to also watch how good he was in it, and then be like, oh, I've already worked with you, so I mean, I wish I wish to tell him that if he's listening, you know what I mean? But that's literally, we've had a lot of, I've been lucky to work with a lot of cool people for sure.
Yeah. That's why I would be a terrible actor, because I'm a fan of everybody, and I'd wear them out. They'd be like, "We can't work with this guy. He won't leave us alone."
You really can't do that. You really can't. You have to not do that. Like
you got to be professional.
Yeah, and even if you do feel that way, like it's like such a turnoff in life in general too.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, I know.
You have to just
I've been there.
Like if Leonardo DiCaprio, when Leonardo DiCaprio comes into my life and wants to be my friend, I'll just be like, yeah, dude, you're cool. I won't be like how I really feel, like, oh my God, you're the best actor I've ever met in my whole fucking life. Holy fuck, are you really talking to me? I'll just be like, yeah, man, that's cool.
Yeah, you got to play it cool. You got to play it cool.
Yeah.
That's why I'm podcasting, because in podcasting, I can do it a little bit. I can fan out a little
totally bit. No, you can, 100%.
Yeah, and then that's the appropriate place, especially if you're on Zoom, because I can't. There's no physical contact, so they're safe.
Yeah, they're safe. Exactly. The world's changing. There's positives, people. You're safer.
Oh, yeah, that's funny. That's funny.
I know, right?
No, that's terrific. So I've spent today. So I watched the new What If, and then I watched the first episode of Star Wars Visions. That's the new Star Wars one out. So have you ever considered, or have you ever wanted to be in a Marvel or a DC movie or a Star Wars film, anything like that?
Yeah. where do I sign up for any of
Yeah.
that? Literally, Marvel is like so rich in their storytelling. What Kevin Feige has done and what he's
Pretty
made in the
amazing.
last 10 years is gonna go down in the history books as like the biggest thing ever, you know, right? And then so I think anyone would want to do that. I mean, come on. And like DC, I love Batman. I can't wait to see the new one with Robert Pattinson. You know,
Yeah, for sure.
I think he's
For sure.
so talented. When my hair's longer, I cut it for Bloodbath, but when my hair's longer, sometimes people will tell me I look like him a little bit.
I can see that. Yeah, I can
Yeah,
totally
and I'm
see
like,
it.
yes, I love it. I'm like, yes, give that to me. I want to manifest me and him in a movie together, and I'm going to play his brother. Okay,
He's an underrated actor, I think.
For sure.
If he can be underrated being as famous he is, I think he's underrated.
No, totally. He's like one of those. I agree, he's underrated because he's been in a lot of movies that are probably like things that people have not necessarily seen. But as soon as they do, they'll be like, "Oh my God, wow, you're like The Lighthouse." Wasn't that crazy?
I love The Lighthouse.
The Lighthouse was amazing. That was one of my favorite movies of that year.
Yeah. That was one of our COVID films. We watched it last year. You know, while we were stuck at home. It was so good. Yeah, it was so good. Do you have a role that you would want?
Oh yes, I want to play Elvis because people have told me I look like him too, and I feel like I could give you that. And I literally practiced already. And of course, they're already making one. But I'll make another one in a few years, okay? And it will tell you a different part of the Elvis story that one didn't.
You could remake. Was it Leaving Las Vegas that had like Nick Cage and all the other Elvis impersonators?
Yeah. Yeah, that's a wild movie. And also I'll also Link and Zelda. Like, why has that not been done yet? My production company is gonna convince Nintendo.
You need to do that. You need to do it. My stepdaughter, she plays the ocarina, and she's such a Zelda fan that she'd go nuts. Yeah,
dude, I love it, right? And think if we're really accurate, Link would have no dialogue other than
that would be hilarious if you did it that way.
And then I'll play him. See, at this point in my career, I'm already like doing really well, and then this is my big movie that does really badly, and people wonder if I'll ever make another big one or something. No, I'm joking. The Legend of Zelda will be great. I'm just saying it's funny to think about if it's not done the right way. That's probably why they've never done it, because there's a lot of pressure to make sure you make that.
That's true. That's true. And most video game movies don't turn out the best.
No, I agree completely, and I feel that way even to this moment. Like I loved the new Mortal Kombat because I love Mortal Kombat, but I'm just looking forward to the next one because I just need more. I guess maybe I just kept that nothing but positive.
Gotta get Johnny Cage in there.
Exactly, we need Johnny Cage. We need Katana. We need the actual Mortal Kombat. How about we actually do that?
I was disappointed that Mortal Kombat didn't actually have any, arena fighting.
That was insane. Oh, you know what was funny? On my Twitter, I posted about Mortal Kombat. It's the biggest Twitter response I've ever gotten. And all the Mortal Kombat homeboys came out and we were having a talk about it. So what I'm saying is Mortal Kombat is such a rich property and everybody loves that. I feel like I love it. I feel like there's a lot of guys that love it. I can just feel it. I can feel it in the air. And so it's just like, just do it right. You know what I mean? Like, just make sure. So we just need another one immediately, is how I feel.
That's right. Let's do it. I'll say this, that there was a lot about it that I didn't like.
Yeah.
But there was enough that I liked that as soon as it was over, I was ready for the next one.
Well said. I completely agree. Totally. Kano was the best part. Wasn't Kano amazing?
Kano was pretty good.
He was so fun. He was so funny.
He was. Yeah. He was. Yeah, for sure. So how about a genre? Is there a genre you haven't done, writing, acting, directing, producing, that you would like to do?
Yeah, no, I'd love to do a horror. And I just saw the James Wan movie Malignant, and I thought it was great. And I thought he was. Have you seen it?
No, I haven't seen it, but I want to.
I think you'll like it. It's unique. It's very daring, the vision. So what I'm saying is I feel like horror movies, especially nowadays, they've gone to a place where you can really go so many places. So it's really exciting. It's not like labeled the way it was even 10, 20 years ago. You know, like there's a breadth there. And I think making a horror thing is a very specific, difficult thing to do. I think people probably don't realize how hard it is to make that. Like people like
Yeah.
that's a very specific type of thing to be going for, you know, and it requires
Yeah.
a lot of things to come together, a lot of things beyond just even a person, you know.
Well, yeah, and it's a very difficult genre, I think, to do well.
Yeah, so that's
You know,
challenging. So I want to challenge myself. So I've always thought like I would want to try to do that well because God, would it be difficult? I think.
yeah. Well, I think you could. I really enjoy your acting. I think you're so talented as an actor. But I can, your writing to me is your best feature because that's what's getting these shows made. And I love the writer in you. I think.
I appreciate that, brother, for sure.
Yeah, for sure. So Bryan, this has been terrific. Thank you so much for taking some
Thank
time.
you. Yes,
I've
man.
enjoyed this. You got to come back. You got to come back and talk some more about Bloodbath and some of it after
when it
it
comes
airs.
out. Yeah, let's do that. I would love
we got
that.
To do it.
November 12th and bloodbathtvshow.net. I'm very excited.
I'll have tons of questions after that.
Yeah, bro, you're gonna love it. I know you're gonna you're gonna be blown away. I'm not trying to oversell this.
Yeah, I'll be bugging you. I'll be like, hey.
Talk to me all the time. I love it. I love talking to you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. So Bryan, before I let you go, I think we've hit everything, but is there anything else that you're working on that you have upcoming that we can kind of keep an eye out for?
I mean, I just auditioned a few days ago for a pilot on Showtime, so I don't know.
That's exciting.
We'll see. Yeah, we'll see if I get that. Then that film's in a few weeks in Vegas, and I don't know. I feel really good about that. But I mean,
are you filming leaving Las Vegas already?
Yes, I'm already doing that. Someone said when they saw my haircut, like I know you guys can't see me, but you can.
Oh, yeah.
It's like Full Metal Jacket, and I was like, okay, cool. But I've never seen that movie, so I feel like
you need to watch
that immediately. Is that a good one?
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. Yeah, you need to watch that. It's got the good kind of the sergeant with the recruit scenes. It's got really good.
Yeah.
That's the best part of the movie is the beginning. The first 20 minutes. I think.
All right.
Yeah,
I'm going to watch that.
ASAP. Yeah, that's awesome. So what's the genre for the Showtime pilot?
Oh, it's a drama. Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Yeah, very good. All right, we'll keep an eye out because I know there's not much you can give away right now, so we'll keep an eye out.
We'll see. For sure. I know, definitely. And also, we need to rewatch every single movie on your background.
Yeah, I think
these are all great.
We have to. That'd be what a week that would be.
Right, we need a viewing party or something, live on Twitter reactions to these movies.
See, if what I'd like to do is just get our guests as they come in and get them making the face, the con face.
Yeah.
So that's it. That's supposed to be what everybody's doing is yelling con. So.
Oh my God! Wait, now I said. I like how you had to edit the Batman one to make that happen.
Yeah. We had to do a little work on Batman. That one was a tough one. Most of the rest of them we were able to get, but yeah.
Yeah, Patrick Stewart's giving you some intensity right there behind your shoulder.
Oh yeah, you'll see if I got that. There he is. Pretty sure he's yelling there are 4 lights or something like that.
I know, right? But anything he yells was with an intensity.
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh, he's got some gravitas for sure. So okay, last thing, Bryan, before you go, go through all of your social media. Where can we find you?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Bryan, you can find me at Bryan James on Twitter. James is JAMEZZ. But then on Instagram, it's Bryan Andrew James is Instagram. James is regular JAMES. What's funny is when I did that Bryan James thing, like people thought that was how I actually spelled my name, and I was like, I need to change those. Like I can't. People literally, whatever in this world nowadays, if you just whatever you put out there, it'd be like, okay, it's like, oh, I'm purple. Okay, you're purple. It's like.
See, I think you should have went the other way. Just change it to the Z's.
I know. Just change it to Bryan James. My name is Bryan James.
That's kind of a showbiz name.
Imagine like at the thing, it's like they're doing the thing that someone's coming out to present awards. So and we have Bryan James.
Well, Bryan, thank you so much. This has been so much fun. You definitely have to come back.
It has been. Thank you, man. Thanks for having me. And everyone check out Bloodbath November 12th.
Yeah, I know. I can't wait. Okay, hold on 1 second. All right, so that was the talented Bryan James. I mean, oh my goodness, he's got so much going on. I can't. It would be hard enough for me to act in somebody else's work. He's writing his own stuff, he's producing his own stuff, he's directing his own stuff, and he's acting in it. I can't imagine. And there's not just one. He's like working on 3 or 4 at a time. That's amazing. But you can tell, very high energy, positive person, and just go go go. I love that. It's very inspirational. You know, there's a lot of times where we're doing the podcast and we're like, whew, I'm not feeling it today. You know, I'm just not feeling it today. He was inspiring me. I'm like, I gotta bring some energy and stuff. So that was terrific. Thank you guys so much for tuning in again this week. Really appreciate that you do that. If you haven't done so yet, please go to YouTube under Meisterkhan Pod. Give us a like and a subscribe. We'd really appreciate that. We're trying to build up the video side. You can also go to our website, meisterkhan.com. We've got all the audio and video episodes on there. We're closing in on our 300th episode, so there's tons of material on there. I guarantee you'll find somebody or something that you are a fan of or that you like. So please check that out. There's a terrific blog from Brett. He's such a good writer. I know you'll enjoy that. It's geeky, it's fun, and it'll also give you any updates on conventions or anything else that we're up to. So you can kind of follow us from the website. Thank you guys so much. Can't wait to talk to you next time. Make sure November 12th to check out Bloodbath. That's going to be amazing. Till next time, everybody. Bye.